Send my roots to work as hard as I do. Been on the money train looking for more better blues. Them school days, no class act, I was breaking all the rules. Life's a boomerang and I had nothing to lose. Another boy in the hood is how it come across. I feel like Dr. Doolittle, but the money talks. They yelling he got game, I'm not the one to ball. This just some fresh soul food for every one of y'all. Yeah.
Yo, welcome back for another episode of Cornbread Movie Review. Hey, thank y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, please. Come on, man. It's free. It's free. Come on. Go ahead. Subscribe. And if you already subscribed, go ahead and share, man. I appreciate that. So today, you know, I hit y'all with different movie reviews, TV shows, but we back for another movie. Come on, man. It ain't that many movies dropping, you know, it's like one or two, maybe weekly, but it's a lot of streaming stuff. But you know, Cornbread got you, especially in the movie theaters, you know, they go every week, man. So if y'all want me to see some other movies too, man, hey, write me, man. Send me a message and I'll probably review it, all right? So today we are going to discuss a movie that's hot off the presses, and that movie is Dune, Part 2. It's out now, it's in theaters, it's PG-13. If this is the first time that you're on the Cornbread Movie Review, first off, welcome. Understand I break down each movie in 5 different categories, all right? All the movies get broken down into these 5 categories. Nobody's left out. Acting, cinematography, storytelling, did I get what I bought, then is it a must-see, adds it up, spits out a Cornbread Movie Review, and then, hey, I rank it through all the movies I've reviewed this year, all right, for 2024. So, first category is acting. Who is in this movie? You got Timothy Chalamet. I think that's how you pronounce his name. So my man's been in a couple movies, man. He's been cooking up a little bit, you know, with Wonka, Dune. I think King is on Netflix or something like that. So he's doing his thing. But he's also most of the time playing the same character other than Wonka. But he reprises his character in Dune. It's the second part of, I guess, 3. Spoiler alert. So my man is still trying to get revenge for his pops, man. We're gonna talk about a couple things. You know, I give small spoilers, but not everything. But obviously, if you haven't seen the first one, you might want to see the first one. You know, we'll get into it if you need to see the second one first, which one, but see the first one, because some of those things play off of that one. All right. So he reprises the same character who's looking for revenge for his father, bro. He's not trying to stop till he gets it. His acting skills, though. He start cooking up in the second half of the movie. First half is more, I'm still learning, still the young pup, looking for my way, right? I'm not at that top tier confidence yet. When we get to towards the end of the second and the end of the movie, my man is cooking with grease, boy, with his range. Mad, angry, direct, not playing no games with nobody. So I really like that, how you get to see more of his character arc in this movie. Also in this movie, Zendaya. She's playing a character who's, you know, I would say a non-believer. I mean, you'll know more what I'm talking about later. So she's more of a non-believer. She's all about family and respect and the culture, but she's also dealing with, you know, she's the love interest of this person, you know, of Timothy's character. So she has a hard dynamic. Her acting skills is okay. I think she's playing like the hero, but she's always like the second fiddle. But she's okay with that. So, you know, we've seen Zendaya, and when she's the main character and stuff, she bodies that. But that's not her role for this movie. It's some heavy hitters in this movie too, bro. Heavy hitters. And everybody does their, let's say, their job. Nobody overshined anybody, but they all were solid. So for me, acting for this category is going to get a 4 out of 5. There's definitely room to grow. Maybe they have their, all those other characters have their character arc at the let's say the third movie, but they set up nicely for certain things. So for me, acting is going to get a 4 out of 5, all right? Next category, cinematography. So this movie, yeah, use the bathroom or be right by a bathroom. Don't drink too much. This movie, again, is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I know. I know. Which, you know, we'll get into storytelling. Some of it wasn't that bad. You know, it didn't feel like that at certain points, but certain points it did. So 2 hours and 40 minutes. The budget, though, seemed like it's unlimited, bro. $190 million. Bro, what? Come on, man. So from the first movie, you already know that the what you're visually gonna see is gonna be stunning, and the creativity is gonna be off the charts. And in this movie, they continued that. From the bodies flying, right? And it's like you don't see any lag in editing or let's say strings or anything like that. Like people just flying. These big ships just floating in the air and falling down. Shooting in sand. What? I don't know how much green screen they were using, but just sand shooting is pretty tough, right? And you understood everything. I always go back to the movie Tenet. If y'all seen that, it's like very hard to hear before they remastered it. When you saw Tenet when it first came out, very hard to hear because they're in masks, running around doing all this stuff, and when they're talking, you can't hear. It's very unaudible, right? But this movie does a great job with that. No issues whatsoever, especially visually. Even from the black sun, when you got the black sun and it creates everybody all white. So it turns from white to black. So even the creativity of that, highly impressed with what I saw. And then even the location is Arakeen or something like that. I think that's like a made up planet or made up area. But it feels real, right? It's like, no, these people have different places, right? When you got your desert, your water, you got different places here. And they make all the technology for each area. So the sand people still have technology too, right? When they can, summons worms, or they can harvest water from a body, right? From a dead body. So I think that's pretty cool because they need water because they're in the desert to survive. So the creativity through that is bar none, and those worms look crazy, man. So for me, the one issue I did have is there's a clicking noise throughout the whole movie. If you've seen Oppenheimer, you know what clicking noise I'm talking about, like. And it's like certain scenes you're like, oh snap, that's intense. I'm ready. And other scenes, somebody could just be walking on the beach or something, and then you hear the clicking noise. Like it doesn't. I don't know who had the button, but they was clicking too much, man. So, and the creativity I give more from the first movie because I've seen it now. This second movie, even though it's still the same movie, I wasn't as highly impressed of what I was watching because of the first movie. Like the shock value is gone, even though they did a great job. So for me, cinematography is going to get a 4.5 out of 5. They did their job on visually what I'm watching and hearing at the same time. All right. Next category is storytelling. So it is a true sequel. The problem is you don't know how far or how much time gap is between the first movie ending to where we kick off, right? It could have been a day, a month, a week. I doubt let's say a year or something like that, because some of the situations that they're in. So, but we don't know. That's up to interpretation. I don't understand why movies don't do that, right? Communicate. That's always the hottest thing. So you have Timothy's character. He's infiltrated like with the Sand People, right? And I call them Sand People. Hey, Google what tribe they are. But he's still trying to learn how to survive in the sand. So they putting him through the ringer. But he's also not one of them, right? He still has a prophecy to uphold of being the one. This movie so much reminds me of The Matrix, it's not even funny. And that's not a good thing. No originality for this. And I'm going to get into the issues I did have with this movie. I like the conversations that they're having, though. They're playing out this conflict in real time with this one tribe, right? You have outsiders, but you also have the tribe who allowed these outsiders in because they're like, no, there's a prophecy. He's the one, right? No, I'm just using the one, the chosen one. So they're going strictly off faith, right? Even doing outlandish stuff to make sure to put him to the test. But then you have the people who are there going off of what they visually see. They don't believe in the one. So they're like, why are we doing this reckless stuff, putting him in danger, putting us in danger? For what, right? It doesn't make sense. So it's creating this divide in their tribe, right? Some of them pray, some of them talk trash about the other one. So even though they are a family and they'll die for each other, but it still creates that divide. So I really like to see that in real time happening throughout this movie. So to me, that storyline was pretty good. And then at the same time, you have new characters being introduced that weren't in the first movie. And the villain, on the villain side, right, they have a whole storyline going on and jockeying for power, position, who's making the right play to rule the universe. But let's talk about some of the bad things, bro. In the movie, you give my man a task and say, hey, I need you to do 4 steps, go 5 steps, right? And then the next scene, they eating dinner. I'm making up that, I don't want to tell the story, but the movie. But it's like, hold on. So did he complete it? Like, what did he get for it? Did he cause any power? Did he create camaraderie? Anything? It's like, y'all just giving my man tasks, and then the next scene, I'm like, hold on, is this a flashback? Y'all fighting? It's not making sense at all. We got to do better with that. And then one of the scenes that pissed me off is you got two worlds that colliding, right? They finally come to blows and they show up on their planet. But then they having a meeting talking about their problems. Why would you go to their planet or their area and talk about your problem? Why don't you do that first? Get everybody on the same page, kill who you got to kill, vote off whoever, and then get the troops, and then y'all go attack. No, you guys don't talk, get on the planet and then talk. Now y'all infighting, and then they gonna come cook you. Makes no sense. Make it make sense. Come on, bro. We got to do better with the storytelling with this. I was this close for giving y'all a 2.5 out of 5 on storytelling, but the first movie was so bad to me that you guys improved. So I had to give you that 0.5 extra. So for me, storytelling is going to get a 3 out of 5. Y'all lucky, boy. You guys are lucky. All right, next category. Did I get what I bought? So the movie is a sci-fi movie, standard ticket. And I say standard, obviously I know inflation. So about $12 to $15, depending on when you go. It's in most of the theaters, most of the nice theaters too, because this is a blockbuster movie. Highly anticipated. The best way I could describe this movie is if you had the father was Game of Thrones and the mother was Star Wars, and they had a baby, and the baby was born in Mad Max, in that world, Mad Max world, right? So you have those 3 elements coming together in reality. So that's the best way I could describe what you're watching from this, right? So it's you get some of those great things from those sagas, but then you get some of the negatives too, because you got to just follow the storyline, and it seems like it's unlimited storyline. Because some of the things weren't making sense, right? Like some of the suits that would help you with armor is not helping nobody. So what's the point of having it? And then you got the Worms, who was a pivotal, let's say, not villain, but a what to look out for in the first movie. And the second one, it's like these worms are soft. They call it every beckon. They taxis. Like, that doesn't make sense, man. But I did come to this for action and visually stunning and everything. So did I give what I bought? It's going to get a 4 out of 5. But they was teetering. I almost cooked them up, but they sufficed what I was looking for. All right. Next category, last category, is it a must-see? I did say watch the first movie before you see this one, and I still hold to that. It's slightly different, the second movie, because it's like the laws or the rules are different from the first movie. But they're picking and choosing, right? It's like selective memory from the witchcraft and sorcery that's going on. You got people talking to other people. You could talk to babies now that aren't even born. I don't know. But then when something happens where it's like epiphany, they're like, oh, I never knew that. But yet y'all know the past and y'all know the future, but y'all didn't know that. And it's multiple of y'all. Come on, man. Y'all picking and choosing what's up with this movie. And for me, for the first storyline, great fight scenes. To me, it was just average movie. I think it had some highs, but it also had some lows. So for the third movie is the grand finale. I don't know. I hope. I don't know if they're gonna make 4 or 5 after this. But for the grand finale for me, or for the middle part, it's just very standard in this category. So for me, isn't a must see. It's gonna be a 3.5 out of 5. All right. So with that being said, Dune Part 2 receives a 4 out of 5 from Cornbread Movie Review. Check out my 2024 movies. Come on, man. We rolling through this thing with some movies, right? We in the first couple months, so I'm gonna start knocking them out. We're gonna start hitting summertime, and more movies gonna be released during that time. I might start doing some streaming movies too. I don't discriminate on what platform it's on. I'm gonna try to produce some movie reviews for y'all. All right. This brings y'all to the forgotten segment. This is a movie that you forgot about, never heard of, or definitely needs to double back on. And this is more of a recent movie too. So this movie came out in 2021, and that movie is The Last Duel. Yes, it has Adam Driver in it, Matt Damon. It basically takes place, the storytelling's phenomenal, right? It's like you're following three different characters and they are remembering things at different times. If you guys have seen The Affair, which is a TV series, it's kind of like that. So something heinous happens and each three remember it differently. And based off of that, some of it's a mystery, some of it's not, but there's certain actions that happen throughout the movie. So I really enjoyed The Last Duel. And go check out Dune Part 2. Check out my other reviews. And guess what? I'll be back next week. I ain't going nowhere. Holla at your boy. Peace.